Shalom, party people, and welcome to the 12th C. I believe it is Mark Ripto, the famous strength training coach. He's written several books. Has a quote something to the effect of, strong people are harder to kill than weak people and more useful in general. I don't know about you guys, but that one relatively resonates with me in the sense of we need to be moving, we need to get active, we need to get after it. Go kick butt, take names. We need to go do hard things. All of that said and done, if you are not taking your personal fitness, if you are not taking your conditioning, so to speak, more seriously, you really need to reevaluate some things. People who follow me understand that this is, in all honesty, like kind of a prepper channel in a little bit different of a light. Because I see so many prepper channels where the dude is like in his 50s or his 60s and got a beer gut that is probably 5 times bigger around than the chair that he's sitting in. And when the zombies come and we're all gonna, like, okay, first rule of zombies, and that's if you believe that zombies is actually gonna be a thing, but first rule of Zombieland is cardio. So, you know, when you get all these people talking about the end of the world and all this stuff, and they're super fat, super slow, super lazy, and they're just buying stuff and putting it on a shelf, and they're calling themselves prepared, like, okay, yeah, thanks for stocking for everybody else when you just pitch a coronary and die. In all honesty, if you are not taking your fitness seriously, and I'm not talking, you know, running a marathon. I'm not talking throwing 119 pounds in a plate carrier and a rucksack and getting after it. I'm talking about moving your body and working up a sweat. Preferably picking up some things that are relatively heavy and then putting them down and then picking them back up again, wash, rinse, repeat. Preferably doing those kind of things. Really good place to start. You know, a place in fitness that just about everybody ignores? Stretching. Mr. David Goggins himself, who's going to carry the boats and the logs? Mr. David Goggins himself spends 2 hours a day stretching, no matter what. Don't you think that we can take 5 minutes and do some actual serious stretching? Maybe a little bit more, would be nice. But it baffles me how many people are fighting for the closest possible parking spot when they're going somewhere because they don't want to walk. Man, park in the back of the parking lot, at least midway down to where you're not worried about your vehicle getting hit by stuff, and then go walk inside, walk around. It infuriates me. You get people who go get the fat people scooters. I would say the handicap scooters, but the handicap people don't use them. It's always people who just don't want to walk, who are too lazy. You think you're going to do those kind of things and stuff hits the fan and life get easier? It's not going to. And I'm not saying that the world's going to end tomorrow, which it could, but in all likelihood, it's not going to. Don't you want to have a life that's worth living? The whole point is get outside, breathe some fresh air, work up a sweat, and even if that's just walking up and down a hill, that's more than a lot of people do. If you can walk up and down a hill and not be super out of breath, if you can, I'm going to go ahead and say it, if you can run up and down a hill a couple of times and do 20 push-ups, you are in a lot better shape than a lot of people. And I'm not saying, you know, go be a super marathoner. I'm not saying pick up super heavy things. I am not a very fast runner. I am not, you know, very strong in all likelihood compared to a lot of other people that I know, but I still try and lift heavy things. I still try and go for some decent runs. I still try and put decent rucksacks on and go, but I'm also, you know, a relatively young guy, and so looking at where fitness standards should be for a relatively healthy young dude, yeah, I need to be as strong as I physically can be, and I need to be able to run decent distances. I need to be able to lift heavy things. I need to be able to stretch. Man, some of this mobility training stuff that I'm seeing online has really caught my eye, and I've been playing around with a little bit of it. and I'm feeling a lot better. You know, my chiropractor still works wonders, but I don't feel like I have to keep going to him. You know, yeah, I'm doing dumb stuff and putting myself in a situation where, oh yeah, chiropractor visit would be nice, but a lot of this deeper stretching and good mobility work, it does wonders. You know, they say motion is lotion for your spine. That's a good thing. It's true too. Not only do you need to be physically moving, do you need to be physically active relatively often. And I'm not going to put parameters on you because everybody's a little bit different, but get out there and sweat and get out there and pick up some heavy things. That's number one. Number two is, if you're going to be a relatively fit person, Zoom Zooms and Wham Whams, Oreos and Reese's peanut butter cookies are not going to actually get you very far in life. I'm not saying don't eat them, but I'm saying seriously avoid them as much as possible. And I'll tell you, Oreos are my weakness. I love Oreos. My problem is I eat the whole dang package. Peanut butter cups are awesome. I'll eat every single one of them in the bag of the minis if I'm not careful. It's one of those things that we need to watch what we're putting into our body. You know, if you're a person of faith like me and you believe that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, what are you putting in that temple? A bunch of junk just because it tastes good? You feel terrible later, and then it's no good. If you want to get serious about what you're putting in your body, and I'm not going to suggest any one diet over another. Like there's stuff out there. Just do research, try a few out, see what works for your body, see what you can maintain. And I'm not saying cut everything out to where you can't, you know, have some joy in the food that you eat. But what I will say is start reading the ingredients in what you're eating. And a decent rule of thumb, if you can't pronounce that ingredient, or if that ingredient rhymes with the word gross, maybe it would behoove you not to eat that anymore. You know, your dextrose, your sucralose, your monotose, whatever. If it rhymes with the word gross, it's a fake synthetic sugar that is not good for your body. If it's an ingredient you can't pronounce, it's probably not good for your body. Honestly, if sugar is in top tier ingredients in what you're eating, stop. You know, you can stay away from like the dyes and the preservatives and the chemicals and all that, but in all honesty, if you can't read that ingredients label and say, I know exactly what a picture of that looks like, probably don't eat it, in all honesty. It's just not going to be good for you. I highly recommend drinking as much water as you can stand to drink, because that'll have your body flushing things out. I highly recommend, you know, staying away from, you know, sodas, staying away from, you know, like your Gatorades and your, you know, fake mixed drinks that are allegedly doing things to our bodies. You know, I'm a non-drinker when it comes to alcohol. It's been 7 or 8 years since the last time I even thought about consuming alcohol on the regular. It's just not something that got me, but obviously stay away from those as much as you can. They're just not good for being generally fit. I'm not saying that alcohol is bad. I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to kill you or whatever, but if it's a vice for you, stay away. All in all, stay away from bad stuff going in, but also put good stuff out as far as what you're doing with your time. You need to be moving. You need to be getting up a sweat. Simple solution. Take stairs everywhere you go that stairs are available. Walk every day. And get a standing desk. They're not that expensive. And I mean, even if you have to put your computer up on a couple of boxes, and then, I don't know, every time your activity tracker watch buzzes at you or whatever, go walk around for 5 minutes and then come back. I mean, if you're drinking more water, you're going to be up and moving anyway, so take the long way to the bathroom and then take the long way back. Just doing stuff like that will dramatically improve your health. Say you work on the 3rd floor of an office building, taking the stairs every time. And then you know what? Take the stairs at lunch break. It's just, in general, going to be a better practice for you. You will be in a lot better shape. Just walking, just doing a few push-ups every day, and just not eating trash for your body. Those simple things can drastically change your fitness, and you'll be in a lot better shape than the average person. Start adding in some miles that you do every once in a while, even if it's 1 mile, and you just do that consistently, like a few times a week, go do a mile. And then incorporate some pull-ups into those push-ups. And if you can't do pull-ups, do rows. And just keep working, keep moving. Take your fitness seriously. And I was running a Tough Mudder, and there was an 86-year-old man who was running every single Tough Mudder in the country. And he was running it with his grandkids. And that's what they did. They traveled the country and ran Tough Mudders together. 86 years old. Had a season pass and used them all. So there's really no excuse for why somebody can't. And this was a 15-kilometer race. So just getting after it. 9 miles of going up and down obstacles. Didn't skip any of them. He wasn't the best by any means, but he was crushing it. He was making some 20-year-olds look like they didn't know what they were doing. So it is very possible to be in very good shape and on paper not be somebody who you would think could be in great shape. I mean, you can see some Instagram accounts of people who are missing limbs and are seriously fit people. If you're concerned about any of this, talk to your doctor. But there is no reason why the average person can't up their fitness level a reasonable amount. And I'm serious. Go for a walk and do some body weight calisthenics. And then stop eating things, stop drinking things that don't belong in your body, in all honesty. If you want to actually be prepared for, whatever is coming, or just hard times in general, because let's face it, even if the world doesn't end tomorrow, we have no guarantee that life is going to continue to be easy. Go get after it. Go do hard things.